Messi's house, filled with memorabilia from his extraordinary career, exuded a sense of comfort and simplicity. As Ronaldo stepped inside, he couldn't resist joking, "Do you live in a trophy room?" Messi laughed and replied, "If I had as many as you, I'd need a stadium." They quickly settled on the couch, controllers in hand, and dove into their friendly rivalry on the screen. As the matches became more intense, a knock on the door interrupted their game. Ronaldo glanced at Messi and asked, "Are you expecting anyone?" Messi shrugged, putting down his controller. "Probably the postman," he said casually, walking toward the door. Opening it, he greeted the postman, who handed him a letter bearing an official seal. Messi's brow furrowed as he opened the envelope. The words on the paper made his heart sink. "What is it?" Ronaldo called out from the living room. Messi returned, holding the letter tightly. His voice wavered as he said, "It's from the government. We've been called for mandatory military service." Ronaldo's eyes widened in disbelief. "Military service? Are you serious?" Messi nodded, his expression solemn. "It says we have to report to the barracks tomorrow. No exceptions." For a moment the room was silent, the weight of the news sinking in. Their world of packed stadiums and cheering fans seemed a million miles away. Finally, Messi broke the silence. "We don't have a choice. We have to go." The next morning, Messi and Ronaldo arrived at the military barracks, their duffel bags slung over their shoulders. The atmosphere was stark and unwelcoming. The air smelled of dust and sweat, and everywhere they looked, soldiers were training, shouting commands, or hauling heavy equipment. A gruff officer greeted them, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Well, look who's here, the football stars. Welcome to the real world, gentlemen. Here, there are no fans, no autographs, and no glory, just hard work." Ronaldo and Messi exchanged a glance but said nothing. They knew they had to prove themselves in this new and challenging environment. Their first day was grueling. Despite being in peak physical condition, the rigorous military drills pushed their bodies to the limit. By the end of the day, their muscles ached and their spirits were dampened. As they collapsed onto their bunks, Ronaldo groaned, "This is harder than any Champions League final." Messi managed a small smile and replied, "At least there, we know the rules." Over the following weeks, they adapted to the routine. They learned to handle firearms, navigate challenging terrain, and work as a team in high-pressure situations. Their instructors, initially skeptical of the athletes, began to notice their determination and discipline. "They might not be soldiers, but they're quick learners," one instructor remarked. Despite the intense training, Messi and Ronaldo found moments of levity. During breaks, they organized football matches with their fellow soldiers, using a makeshift ball and goals. These matches brought smiles to their comrades' faces and helped Messi and Ronaldo forge bonds with their peers. One evening, their commanding officer summoned them to his office. His expression was serious as he said, "We have a mission for you. You'll be heading to the mountains to confront an enemy force. The terrain is harsh, and the conditions will test your limits. Are you ready?" The gravity of the situation was clear, but Messi and Ronaldo nodded without hesitation. They knew they had to step up. The journey to the mountains was long and arduous. As the convoy climbed higher, the temperature dropped, and the air grew thinner. When they finally arrived, the landscape was blanketed in snow, and a dense fog obscured their surroundings. The mission was simple in its goal, but complicated in execution: secure a strategic point held by the enemy. At dawn, the operation began. The soldiers moved cautiously through the snow, their breath visible in the freezing air. The sound of gunfire shattered the silence and chaos erupted. Messi and Ronaldo, now part of a small squad, found themselves in the thick of the battle. The fog made it hard to see, and the biting cold made every movement a struggle. As they fought side by side, an enemy bullet grazed Messi's leg, causing him to stumble. "Messi!" Ronaldo shouted, rushing to his aid. Ignoring the danger, Ronaldo dragged Messi behind a large rock, shielding him from further harm. While Messi clutched his leg in pain, Ronaldo took over, firing back at the advancing enemy with unwavering determination. His focus and bravery turned the tide of the skirmish, and soon, reinforcements arrived to secure the area. When the gunfire ceased, Ronaldo turned his attention to Messi. "How bad is it?" he asked, concern evident in his voice. Messi winced, but tried to downplay the injury. "It's just a scratch," he said, though his face betrayed the pain he felt. Ronaldo wasn't convinced. Using the first aid kit they carried, he carefully cleaned and bandaged the wound. "You're not going down on my watch," he said with a reassuring smile. Once the mission was complete, Messi and Ronaldo returned to the base with their squad. Their commanding officers commended their bravery and quick thinking, and their fellow soldiers cheered for them. During a small ceremony, the two were awarded medals for their outstanding service. One officer remarked, "You've proven that courage and teamwork know no bounds, whether on the field or in battle." As their military service came to an end, Messi and Ronaldo packed their belongings, reflecting on their journey. "We've been through things I never thought we'd face," Messi said quietly. Ronaldo nodded. "It was nothing like what we're used to, but it's something I'll never forget. This experience has changed us." When they stepped out of the barracks for the final time, they were met with applause from their fellow soldiers. Though they were returning to the world of football, the bonds they had formed and the lessons they had learned in the army would stay with them forever. The two left as not just football legends, but as heroes in another realm, ready to face any challenge life might throw their way.